Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. This is Nuzhat Sana. I hope you all are doing very well. And in today's session, we will be discussing the most important current affairs for 27th and 28th of October 2024. These are some of the important keywords that we will be covering in today's session. For example, we'll talk about the PM-YASASVI scheme. Then we'll see what is the IUCN status of Giant-salmon-carp. After that, we'll talk about Mekong-River. Then we'll see which organization or institute has released the World Economic Outlook report. Then we will see from which country Urmila-Chaudhary belonged to and why she came into news. After that, we'll see Laser-Interferometer-Space-Antenna, means LISA mission is the collaboration between which two space agencies. Then we'll see World-Polio-Day is observed on which date, and at last we'll talk about the dry port. Okay, so this would be the crux of our today's session. Now without wasting any further time, let's get started. The first question is, which ministry has implemented the PM-YASASVI scheme? First of all, what is the full form of PM-YASASVI? So PM-YASASVI stands for PM Young Achievers Scholarship Award Scheme for Vibrant India. Okay, so this is the initiative of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And basic purpose here is to provide the financial assistance and educational support to the students who belong to OBC, means other backward classes, EBC means economically backward classes, and DNT means denotified tribes. Okay, so it merged the earlier programs like Dr. Ambedkar post-matric and pre-post-matric scholarships for EBCs and DNTs that started in 2021 to 2022. And the scheme provides the scholarship from class 9 to post-secondary studies. Basic objective here is to empower the disadvantaged groups by removing the financial barriers, ensuring that they would complete their education. Fine. So two things are important. PM-YASASVI scheme works under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And what is the full form of PM-YASASVI? It stands for PM Young Achievers Scholarship Award Scheme for Vibrant India. Okay. In the next slide, we'll be talking about some important government schemes that were in news. Which state government has recently launched Nijut Moina scheme for girls' education? This scheme was launched by Assam government and basic aim was to empower the girls in terms of their education. Mukhyamantri Maji Ladki Bahin Yojana is launched by which state government? This scheme belongs to Maharashtra. Recently, the Ministry of Agriculture is planning to launch the Smart Precision Horticulture program, under which scheme answer is MIDH, Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. Recently, which state government announced a special scheme for laborers and the street vendors named as Mukhyamantri Vishwakarma Pension Yojana. This scheme was launched by Rajasthan government. Arogya Doctors on Wheels is an initiative of which state or union territory? This is Jammu and Kashmir. What is the primary objective of Ghar portal? Recently seen in the news. Basic objective was to digitally track and monitor the restoration and repatriation of children. What is the name of the new scheme approved by the Union Cabinet to improve the fisheries sector? This new scheme is Pradhan Mantri Matsya Kisan Samriddhi Se Yojana. Okay. The next question is, what is the current IUCN status of Giant-salmon-carp, which was recently sighted in Mekong-River? First of all, the Giant-salmon-carp was earlier thought to be extinct, but now it has been spotted 3 times in the Mekong-River in the recent years. So this fish is also known as Mekong Giant-salmon-carp and it can grow up to 4 feet long. Also, it has a distinctive knob on its lower jaw. Okay, so it is found in northern Cambodia region, in Laos as well as in Thailand, and now it has seen its population declining by over 90%, and the reason is obviously overfishing and habitat loss. So this fish is critically endangered as per the IUCN, and the Mekong River is the longest in Southeast Asia and it supports many of the large fish species while creating a fertile delta in southern Vietnam. Fine. So any species that came into news, you have to remember its IUCN status, and the IUCN status of Giant-salmon-carp is critically endangered. Okay. Talking about the Mekong River, which Southeast Asian country does the Mekong River not flow through? So it does not flow through Malaysia, right? Actually, the Mekong River flows through 6 Southeast Asian countries, and which are these? the country China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia and Vietnam. And Malaysia is not one of the countries that Mekong passes through. And don't forget that Mekong-River is the 12th longest river in the world. It is very important or crucial for regional agriculture and fisheries. Fine. Now, what major ecological phenomena results from the Mekong's seasonal flow variation? It is the Mekong flood pulse, right? Which endangered freshwater mammal is found in the Mekong River? It is the Irrawaddy dolphin. Okay. Talking about the IUCN, full form is International Union for Conservation of Nature. What is the highest conservation status category in the IUCN Red List? It is the extinct category. And when was the IUCN Red List first established? It was established in 1964. Fine. Now, what IUCN category is designated for the species which are not currently at the risk of extinction? They are the least concern. Okay. In the next slide, let's talk about some environment and biodiversity related current affairs. Krishna Sagar Dam is located in which Indian state? This dam is found to be in Karnataka. What is the objective of Polar Coupled Analysis and Prediction for Services project recently launched by WMO? Objective is to increase weather and climate information in the Arctic and Antarctic. What is the origin of Bagmati River? Recently seen in the news. Origin is Shivpuri Hills. Recently, bovine animal Mithun has been spotted in which northeastern state for the first time? First time it has been spotted in the northeastern state of Assam. Recently, a rare Indian painted frog was recently sighted at which tiger reserve of Telangana? Answer is Kaval Tiger Reserve. You can also be asked about the location of Kaval Tiger Reserve. What is the location of this tiger reserve? Answer would be Telangana. Okay. Androth, Kiltan and Kalpani Islands, recently seen in the news due to coral bleaching, are located in which region of India? They are found to be on Lakshadweep Islands. Then Lake Turkana is located in which country? Lake Turkana is found in Kenya. Okay. Question number 3 is, which organization released a World Economic Outlook report in the month of October 2024? So, International Monetary Fund releases the World Economic Outlook report, and recently it has been released. Actually, it forecast the global growth to remain stable at 3.2% for 2024 as well as for 2025. This report is published biannually by IMF, and it provides the estimates on global GDP growth, inflation and some other data for total 190 member countries. So now India's GDP growth is expected to be 7% in 2024. It would further slow down to 5% in 2025 due to reduced post-pandemic demand, and the US economy is projected to grow at 2.8% in 2024 and 2.2% in 2025. China's growth is forecasted at 4.8% in 2024 and further 4.5% in 2025. Okay, so IMF has released this World Economic Outlook report in the month of October, and most important point is India's GDP growth is expected to be at 7% in 2024, and in 2025 it would be 5%. Fine. Talking about the IMF, headquarters lies in Washington DC, and it was established in 1944. Okay, how often is the World Economic Outlook report released by the IMF? So it is released biannually. Fine. In the next slide, we will be talking about some reports and indices. The first question is, which organization recently released a report titled as Agriculture and Conservation? This report is given by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. According to latest NSSO survey, what is the poverty rate in India? As per this survey, in India the poverty rate is 5%. Recently, which ministry has released the report titled as The Indian Economy, a Review? This report is given by Ministry of Finance. According to the World Air Quality Report, which country was the third most polluted country in 2023? As per this report, India is the third most polluted country in 2023. Which organization recently published a first national report on AMR surveillance in India's fisheries livestock sectors for 2019 to 2022? This is FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. Recently, which organization released the report titled as Asia and the Pacific Sustainable Development Goal Progress Report 2024? This report is given by UNESCAP. Navigate Bharat portal is launched by which ministry? This portal is launched by Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Okay. Question number 4 is, Urmila-Chaudhary, who recently won the Global Anti-Racism Championship Award 2024, belongs to which country? Urmila-Chaudhary belongs to Nepal country, and recently she won the Global Anti-Racism Championship Award for this year. It is presented by US Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken. So this award actually honors her work in advancing the racial equality, justice and the human right. Urmila was rescued from child servitude at the age of 17, and she co-founded the Freed Kamlari Development Forum. It empowers the former bonded laborers. Okay, so she fights for marginalized caste in Nepal and studies law to further her cause. The illegal Kamlari system, which sold the girls into servitude, was abolished in 2013 after the mass protest, but justice and rehabilitation efforts still continue. Okay, you have to remember that Urmila-Chaudhary has won this year's Global Anti-Racism Championship Award, and she is from the country Nepal. Okay, in the next slide we'll be talking about some important awards and orders related question. The first one is, how many Padma awards were approved by the President for conferment on the eve of 75th Republic Day? So this year total 132 Padma awards were distributed. David Johnson, who recently passed away, was associated with which sport? Recently he passed away and he was a cricketer. Which Indian recently received the highest civilian Grand Collar of the Order Award of Timor-Leste? This award was given to our President Draupadi Murmu. Which two BSF personnel were awarded the President's Medal for Gallantry posthumously on the eve of 75th Republic Day? Samla Ram Vishnoi and Shishupal Singh. Recently, who has been reappointed as the MD of IMF for a new 5-year term? This is Kristalina Georgieva. Harpal Singh Bedi, who recently passed away, belonged to which field? Answer is journalism. Recently, who became the first person to run across Africa? This is Russ Cook. Okay. Now, question number 5 is, LISA mission means Laser-Interferometer-Space-Antenna mission is a collaborative project in between NASA and which space agency? So answer is D option, European Space Agency. Actually, NASA has revealed the prototype of 6 telescopes for the LISA mission. And talking about LISA, it is a joint mission in between NASA and ESA, European Space Agency. NASA here stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is the US based space agency, and they are planning to launch it in the mid 2030s. Fine. So its goal is to detect the gravitational waves using 3 spacecraft that are positioned in the triangular formation with each 1.6 million apart, 1.6 million miles apart. Okay. So it will be the first gravitational wave detector in space that would explore the black holes, gravity and the expansion of the universe as well. And the spacecraft will use the lasers to measure the subtle distance changes between the free floating cubes, detecting the ripples in space-time. Okay. So 2 things are important. What is the full form of LISA? LISA stands for Laser-Interferometer-Space-Antenna, and LISA mission is a project between which 2 space agencies? So answer is European Space Agency and NASA. Okay. Now what questions you can be asked regarding LISA? What does LISA aim to detect in space? So it would work for gravitational waves. Which 2 space agencies collaborate on the LISA mission? These are NASA and ESA, as we have already talked about. How does LISA measure distance changes? With laser interferometry. Okay. In the next slide, let's talk about some science and technology related news. Which country recently hosted the 45th edition of Scientific Assembly of the Committee on Space Research for the first time? This is the country South Korea. What is the primary objective of Proba 3 mission by the European Space Agency? First of all, you have to remember that Proba 3 mission belongs to ESA, and the basic objective is to create an artificial eclipse for detailed observation of the sun's corona. Which one of the following is the best description of term forever chemicals recently seen in the news? Answer is, it is highly persistent man-made chemical that hardly degrade in natural environment. What is Dictyostelium discoidum recently seen in the news? What is it? It is a kind of amoeba. Recently, which space organization is planning to carry a message in a bottle to Europa, which is one of the Jupiter's moon, in October 2024. This is the plan of NASA, and don't forget that Europa is the one of the moons of Jupiter. What is the name of the world's first government-funded multi-modal large language model recently launched by India? It is the Bharat Gen What is quasar recently seen in the news? It is a active galactic nucleus. Okay. Question number 6 is, World Polio Day is observed annually on which day? We observe the World Polio Day on 24th of October. It was established by Rotary International to honor the Jonas Salk, who developed the first polio vaccine. Polio is a highly infectious viral disease that causes paralysis or even you can say death also, mostly in children, and it has no cure at all. It can only be prevented through vaccination. Okay. So India reported 741 polio cases in 2009 and it is the highest figure worldwide. The last polio case in India was found to be in January 2011 in Hora in the state of West Bengal. India's polio eradication success came through strong government coordination, international help, effective messaging and overcoming the cultural challenges, inspiring its COVID-19 vaccination drive. Okay. So World Polio Day is observed annually on 24th of October. In the next slide, let's talk about important days and events. The first question is, which day is celebrated as International Day of Concise every year? This is the day 5th of April. Recently, where was the G20 Agriculture Ministerial meeting held? Answer is Cuba in Brazil. Which day is observed as World Day to Combat Desertification and Drought every year? This is 17th of June. What is Suflam recently seen in the news? It is a startup conclave for the food processing entrepreneurs. Where was the cultural festival Vividta Ka Amrit Mahotsav organized? It was organized in New Delhi. Where was the first Asian-India Track 1 Cyber Policy Dialogue held? Answer is Singapore. What is the theme of World Oceans Day 2024? The theme was Awaken New Depth. And when do we observe the World Oceans Day? Every year we celebrate the World Ocean Day on 8th of June. Fine. Now question number 7 is, recently where was the Bihar's first dry port inaugurated? The correct answer here is A option, Bihta. Bihar inaugurated its first dry port at Bihta, operating in public-private partnership model, and this port is connected by rail to gateway ports in Kolkata, Haldia, Visakhapatnam, Nhava Sheva and Mundra. And the dry port, also known as Inland Container Depot, provides the logistic facilities away from the seaports or airports for cargo handling, storage and transportation. It helps in reducing the congestion at the seaports and airports, and it facilitates efficient movement of goods in between inland regions and the coastal areas. Okay, so Bihar's first dry port has been inaugurated at Bihta. Fine. Now in the next slide, let's talk about important business, economy and banking related news. What are catastrophe bonds recently mentioned in the news? These are financial instruments which offer high returns in exchange for bearing the risk of disaster. Which organization has recently commercialized herbicide tolerant basmati rice varieties? This is ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. DigiLocker, recently seen in the news, is a flagship initiative of which ministry? This is Ministry of Electronics and IT. Recently, which institution has signed $181 million loan agreement with Government of India for improving the urban livability and mobility of Ahmedabad city? This is ADB, Asian Development Bank. Recently, the Government of India has mandated conformity to the Bureau of Indian Standards for which material? This is stainless steel and aluminium utensil. The next is, which organization has introduced dispute resolution scheme recently seen in the news? This is CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Which organization regulates the International Bullion Exchange recently seen in the news? This is International Financial Services Centers Authority. Okay. Question number 8 is, which country has been named the country of focus for the 55th International Film Festival of India? This is the country Australia. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has announced that Australia will be the country of focus at the 55th International Film Festival of India, and this segment will feature 7 Australian films which highlights the country's storytelling tradition and indigenous and contemporary narratives as well. This announcement comes after the signing of an audio-visual co-production treaty in between India and Australia, and the aim was to encourage the co-production. Okay, so this treaty will provide the incentives for the filmmakers, promoting cultural exchange and collaboration on innovative cinematic project. The 55th edition of IFFI will take place in Goa from 20th to 28th of November 2024. Okay, So Australia has been named as the country of focus for the 55th International Film Festival of India. Also, you have to remember that what is the venue for this year's International Film Festival of India. So answer is Goa. Okay. Now, when was the first IFFI held? It was held in 1952. And how many times Goa hosted the IFFI? This is since 2004. Okay, annually since 2004. Before Goa, Delhi used to host this event. Okay. Now, in the next slide, let's talk about some important international current affairs. Recently, where was the 16th meeting of India-UK Joint Working Group on Counter-Terrorism held? This is New Delhi. Recently, Gitanas Nausėda has been elected as the president of which country? This is Lithuania country. Which state government has partnered with Wales for the 25th edition of Hornbill Festival? This is Nagaland, because Hornbill Festival is celebrated in the state of Nagaland. Recently, the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship collaborated with which country to energize the agriculture sector of India with emerging skills? This is Australia. India recently collaborated with which country to study and conserve the sharks and rays in the Arabian Sea? This is Oman. Recently, India and which country signed mutual recognition agreement for the organic product? This is Taiwan country. Rashtriya Raksha University recently signed a memorandum of understanding with which country to boost innovation in aerospace, defense and homeland security? This is the country France. Okay. Question number 9 is, what is the name of the initiative recently launched by Karnataka government to provide free healthcare services to the citizen? The name of this initiative is A option, Grih Arogya. Grih Arogya Healthcare at Your Doorstep initiative aims to offer free health checkups and the treatments, specially targeting underprivileged communities. Okay. It was launched by the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, and the program addresses the financial barriers that deter the people from seeking essential health screening. So this initiative emphasizes the importance of early detection of diseases like cancer, diabetes and hypertension, so as to improve the treatment outcomes and promote the healthier lifestyles among the citizen. Okay, so Grih Arogya is the name of initiative that was recently launched by Karnataka government to provide free healthcare services to the citizen. Fine. Now in the next slide, let's talk about again some type of government schemes. Which state government recently launched the Goim Vina Mulya Vij Yevjan initiative? This is the initiative of Goa. Mukhyamantri School Jatan Yojana is launched by which state government? Answer is Chhattisgarh. Ninglam Nalama scheme is launched by which Indian state? This is Tamil Nadu. Government has recently launched Rashtriya Udyamita Vikas Pariyojana for which one of the following? Answer is PM Swanidhi beneficiaries. Fast Track Special Courts is a centrally sponsored scheme launched in which year? So it was launched in 2019. Which state government recently launched CM Saath scheme to provide the financial help to the deserving student? This is the state Tripura. Carbon credit trading scheme is an initiative of which ministry? This is the Power Ministry. Okay. Now the last question is, recently which state or the union territory has approved the establishment of special courts for people with disabilities? Answer here is A option, Delhi. Delhi government is establishing the special courts for the people with disabilities and it is approved by Chief Minister Atishi. This initiative aims to streamline the judicial process so as to ensure the fair and swift justice for the disabled individual. So this is a historic step to reform the judicial system so as to better serve the interest of people with disabilities, and these new courts will reduce the challenges in accessing the legal services and strengthen the trust in the justice system. It has been designed to accommodate specific needs and these courts will resolve the cases promptly in an inclusive environment, prioritizing the right to justice for all. Okay, so Delhi has approved the establishment of special courts for people with disabilities. Fine. Now in the last slide, let's talk about some national current affairs. The first one here is Swami Vivekanand Nishak Swavlamban Protsahan scheme is a social security scheme of which Indian state? This scheme belongs to Jharkhand. Recently, which Indian naval ship seized 940 kgs of narcotics in the Arabian Sea as part of an operation led by the CMF Combined Maritime Forces? This much amount of narcotics has been seized by INS Talwar in Arabian Sea. Which ministry recently resolved the 14-member Standing Committee on Economic Statistics? This is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Which state government has recently decided to scrap the 2-child norm for contesting the local body election? It is Andhra Pradesh. Recently, the government of UP has decided to set up a bioplastic park in which district? They are setting up this bioplastic park in Lakhimpur Kheri, which state government recently announced a 10,000 crore rupees project funded by the World Bank to tackle the air pollution. It is Haryana. Recently, which armed force launched the first of its kind skin bank for the treatment of severe burn injuries in defense. This is Indian Army. Okay. So this is all about today's session. I hope you have liked it, and we are done with our today's 10 questions along with the revision part. Now at last, I'd like to give you some homework. And today the homework is again related to the national current affairs. Here on the screen you can see 7 questions. Please read each of the questions carefully and try to answer them in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answers. And now at last, I would like to again remind you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series in the GKToday Android application. So if you want the PDF of the lecture, you can subscribe to that course by paying a very nominal fees. Okay. So now we'll be meeting again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.